Happy Tip Tuesday. This is your friendly neighborhood metrologist, Mike Lynn, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about something we added back in version 13.1.7, and it's dealing with calculations. Now, as you can see here on my screen, I have a torque calibration set up, and we're going to take some as found data, some as left data, and we're going to calculate an average set of readings, standard deviation, repeatability, max min, and then the difference between a max min as found and as left. Now, prior to 13.1.7, we would have had to do this using our test point scripting, and you'd have to write a Visual Basic script to do that. But we added a new feature that allows us to stack formulas in the formula field, more specifically the results formula field. So if I open this up to the editing mode, you'll see that we actually have 6 different calculations going on here. Let's see, we'll move this one down, move this one down, and move this one down. So each one is separated by what we call the pipe character. And the pipe character is the shift backslash right above the enter key on your keyboard. So the first section is going to be for the result. So in this case, I'm taking the average of the 5 readings from the previous lines, dividing by 5, and that average is going to go into, and I can't switch over at this point, but that will go into the as found result field. The second section after this first pipe character is the standard deviation function, and that's located in here. You've got standard deviation, then another pipe character. Now this second section is going to go into the as found or as left extra number 1 field, depending on whether or not you're taking as found data or as left data. Same thing with this section here. This would be, say, a repeatability, where I'm taking the standard deviation, dividing it by the square root of the number of readings. That's going to go into the as found or as left extra number 2 field. So then we have the extra number 3, extra number 4, and extra number 5. So you're allowed to do 5 additional readings in addition to the as found and as left result itself. So in this, let me put this all back on one line so that it will compile properly. So as long as you separate them by that pipe character, it will be able to parse these apart. So if I go in, I'm going to run a calibration. I want to run a calibration real quick here. So I'm going to select this particular calibration tab. I've got that. I've got my master. And I get to the results. So I'm going to start taking some data. So let's just make up some information here. And say 45.84. So when I switch down to this field, or to the next line, you'll see all the calculations show up. And I have to seed this with something to get it to trigger. So typically I just put in a 0 and then hit down arrow, and you'll see that it's calculated the average, the standard deviation, repeatability, max, min, and then the difference between the max and min. So this gives you a way to perform many, many more calculations using the as found extra number fields without having to write scripts. And that was the whole purpose of this, was to make it much easier to do multiple calculations using one line and not having to do a separate one on each one of these, one separate line to do all the different calculations. So hopefully this will help you out. And as always, if you have any issues, just give us a holler at support. We'll be more than happy to help.